it finally happened. After years of rumors and speculation, Atlus announced the much-anticipated Persona 5. The reveal was built up like no Persona title before, with a countdown starting in September and a 72-hour stream before the unveiling, and it paid off, with over 1 million people viewing the event, leaving hundreds of thousands of comments. Clearly, the Persona series has earned itself quite a reputation since its humble days on the PlayStation, and with 4 new Persona titles to accompany the announcement, the series shows no signs of slowing down, with Persona 5 being the largest among them. Little is known about this elusive title at the moment. All we know is that it will take place in a high school setting, and that it will have a darker tone than ever before, but that's it. So with all the speculation surrounding this highly anticipated RPG, I thought I'd throw in my 2 cents and tell you what I'd like to see in the next Persona entry. Load up your gun and crush a deck of cards, folks. These are my top 5 hopes for Persona 5. Number 5. A new cast. Persona 5 will have a different mood and feel to it than previous entries, and should feature a fresh new cast to match this new darker tone with their own problems to confront and resolve. Much as I enjoy the characters in, say, Persona 4, I don't feel they need to play a large role in the next installment. There's nowhere else you can really take the characters without rehashing the same plot and character development. Yes, I know Persona 4 Arena and its sequel will continue the plot to Persona 3 and 4, but the character arcs themselves are complete. There is no reason to include them as major characters in this new plot. Having a cameo or two is fine, just don't involve any old characters in the plot of this new one. We've already seen them in their adventure, it's time for some fresh new faces to take center stage. Number 4. Quick Save. A small addition, but one that would be very helpful. Being able to stop playing at any time in a dungeon and not losing any progress would be such a convenient feature to have. Frankly, I'm surprised something as simple as this hasn't been implemented yet. I mean, think about it. After going through over 20 floors of enemy-infested territory, being able to take a break instead of leaving the dungeon to save would be a huge relief. Very minor, but very useful. Number 3. Better relationships. Part of the appeal of the more recent Persona titles is the addition of social links. In between dungeon crawling and school, you can spend time with your friends and get to know them better, which may lead into a romantic relationship, stronger persona, and give the characters more time for development outside of the main plot. It's a great system that makes you choose between developing your relationships further with your favorite characters, or honing in on their battle skills. However, the bonds you make with them never seem to be acknowledged in the main plot. All that character development, that growth your friends go through from hanging around and talking to you, it never surfaces beyond the character's initial revelation, and that can be a bit distracting. A little acknowledgement of them in the plot could change this all for the better. They could show other characters acting jealous of how you're treated or how you treat other characters, a good friend siding with you more in the decisions that you make, or someone you never hanging out with being quiet around you. Just an extra line or two in some scenes will go a long way in making the story more enjoyable, and the friendships you make with the characters all the more important. Speaking of relationships... Number 2. Same-sex relationships. No, I'm not saying that Atlus should just shoehorn in the option to have a same-sex relationship for the sake of representation. No, not every character has to be an option for one. But having the option to engage in a same-sex relationship with another character could open up a new dynamic in the character's relationship. What's more, it would perfectly fit the setting and the timing for the characters. High school is a challenging period of life for teenagers where they discover things they never knew about themselves, including their orientation. More options is always appreciated, and more ways to explore the colorful cast of characters we're sure to get can only make things better in the end, in addition to adding more replay value. And it doesn't just have to be between guys, ladies. The Persona series may be considered a niche, but it has reached out to a massive, worldwide audience, and amassed itself a large and devoted fanbase, several of which I'm sure identify themselves as a part of the LGBT, who I'm sure would appreciate being represented in one of the most beloved JRPG series of all time, known for its great characters. Besides, it's not like Persona has never done this before. In Persona 2, Innocent Sin, the main character can get into a gay relationship with another party member, Jin Kurosu. And considering how often and how well Persona 4 dealt with issues of identity and sexuality, I don't think having a character who explores this in a relationship would be so out of the ordinary for the series to try. In fact, it could be downright excellent if pulled off right, and could bring out some truly powerful moments of growth in our main characters. However, this also brings us to... Number 1. No Silent Protagonist. I know that, at the end of the day, Persona is a spin-off of the main Megami Tensei series. They are well known for their inclusion of silent protagonists. And yet, in spite of that, the popularity of the Persona series has rapidly grown over the years, to the point where it surpassed the main Megami Tensei line and became a franchise of its own. One would think they would abandon certain traits after establishing itself as its own separate series. But in a franchise so well known for its characters and relationship with said characters, it strikes me as a missed opportunity to continue to have a silent lead in every game. Actually, I take that back. In Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, they turn a character who is once full of personality and charm into a blank slate with no redeeming quality. Which makes absolutely no sense. Silent protagonists are supposed to represent you, the player, and immerse you in these worlds, but it ends up having the opposite effect. Instead of placing you in this role and getting lost in this amazing story, all it does is show how underutilized you are as a character, and you end up getting invested with the other characters because there's a personality and identity to associate with them, and some great ones at that. We know that this unnamed person is not us because they have no identity or characteristics to relate to or define themselves as. They're a blank slate not to project ourselves onto or create by our own actions, but ones that we have to create by the limits that the writers came up with as options. If we are playing a role in this role-playing game, then it ought to be one that we enjoy putting ourselves into, not one we have to make up for ourselves. You are the weakest link in this chain of characters, and it's about time that Atlus fixed that. There's a lot of potential to explore this new character and focus on their own life. What if they moved into a new town? How would they feel about leaving their old home and friends behind? How are they enjoying this new town and school? What if they're a local resident just starting high school? Are they nervous about what they'll do there? Is the pressure of test after test getting to them? Are their parents unhappy with all the time they're spending with their friends instead of homework? That is something that people can identify and relate to. From Persona 3 onwards, the series has focused on themes of trust and close bonds, yet has kept the main character as speechless as ever. And there doesn't seem to be any reason beyond tradition. A tradition which makes even less sense when you consider that the Persona animated series has made their silent leads into likable, well-written characters with a voice of their own. We know that Atlus has made some very engaging leads over the years that have made the story and overall experience all the more enjoyable. Moreover, the Persona team has made a game with a lead who is not a silent protagonist revolving around relationships which turned out pretty well.
Hey, how many years have we been together?
Huh? Oh man, how long has it been? It's been so long I can't remember. How many years?
I'm asking you.
The plot to Catherine is entirely about the development of the relationship between Vincent Brooks and his girlfriend Catherine, his struggles and choices in life that are both relatable and instantly recognizable as a title by the Persona team. It's clear that they have a talented team of writers on board and have crafted some incredibly memorable characters, so why not add another one to the list? In the same year that Persona 5 will be released, the Atlus brand will officially become 25 years old. Maybe now is the right time to abandon this tradition and celebrate by trying something fresh and new as a start for the next 25. So forget about using a silent lead, give them a personality and a voice, and realize the potential of the main protagonist being a fully realized character. That is my #1 hope for Persona 5. So those are my top 5 hopes for Persona 5. I hope you enjoyed them. Did you agree with all the choices made here? What would you like to see in Persona 5? Let me know what you think. In the meantime, I've got some shoutouts to deal with. Until next time, game on, my friends.